I am your guest host, Prophet Remington Rolle, filling in for Apostle Connie Brooks. We are going to have a very interesting conversation tonight. As you know, this is the last day of November. Wow, we've come this far. It's almost the end of the year. There's literally 1 month left in 2021. We are almost at the finish line. This is a key time. Many of us, we have just come out of Thanksgiving. For those that are watching and here in the United States, you just came out of the Thanksgiving celebration and you ate, had time with the family, did some shopping on Black Friday and Cyber Monday, and now you're getting ready and geared up for Christmas celebrations. So you're looking forward to it. However, we must be very conscious that we are at the end of the year. What happened in this year? What is your takeaway? What have you learned from your entire year? What are the good points? What are the high points? What are your low points? So tonight, we've come together and we're going to do something called the exit interview. The exit interview. You're going to have a conversation with, guess who? Yourself. You are going to have a conversation with yourself. And listen, that doesn't mean you're crazy. They often say if you talk to yourself, you're crazy, but not in this context. You are going to sit down, have a deep conversation with yourself to properly wrap up 2021 and to adequately prepare yourself for the new year. The exit interview is a conversation that is typically between an employee and a company, where the employee is leaving and the company is sitting to discuss with them and find out, why are you leaving? You've decided to go, you're moving on to another endeavor. What is the reason? I was praying. We had a wonderful Finish Strong conference here at our church a week ago, and that's when the Lord gave me the idea. He said, we as people, everyone, believers and non-believers, everyone needs to have an exit interview with yourself to prepare yourself for what is coming as the year goes out. What is your takeaway? What is it that you have gained from going through this period of time? Have you learned something? Has it impacted your life? What are the benefits from you going through this entire year? So there are a few points we're going to go through tonight. As we go, if you have any questions or comments, please just put them right in the comment section. The staff here will get it to us. We're going to answer them and do our best to help you navigate your way to a successful close of this year and a successful 2022. So again, this medium is so that we can identify and discuss the significant occurrences in this year, and we'll use the data that we have collected so that we can make better informed decisions for the next year. The very first thing, and this is actually in two parts, but the very first thing that we want to do is review. Review, review, review. So part one of reviewing the year is sit down. As you interview yourself, sit down and make a list of the significant things that took place in 2021. My advice is to make a list of 10 things, 5 positive and 5 negative. You need to list the highs and the lows. It is very, very important. For some of us, we would be more adequate, or we would feel more excited about listing our high points. We would want to readily list all of the good and the great things that have happened, but it is also very necessary to list the negative things that has happened as well. Sometimes you'll feel hesitant about listing the negative things. However, when we are able to list our failures and our negative experiences, it helps us so that we can boldly confront them. So, for example, you failed at doing something. You had set out to do something at the beginning of the year. This is a very famous one. Many people, they make New Year's resolutions, and one of the key ones that people do is, I'm going to lose weight this year. Somebody is saying, yes, I am going to get down the pounds. I remember there was a particular fitness enthusiast who would say that. I'm going to get down the pounds this year. I'm going to get that summer body. I'm going to be slim and trim. I'm going to get myself together. However, you're looking now, summer has long passed. We're right in getting into the heart of winter, and you have not achieved it. It is needful to make a list of this so you can confront it. Confront the reasons why you did not lose the weight you intended to. And again, like I said, I'm just using this as an example, but it's needful. Make a list of the negative things that has happened as well. Make a list of things that have failed, that it didn't work out. You tried it, you attempted it, or you didn't even attempt it. You procrastinated for so long, you did not make an attempt at doing some of the things you had on your list to do. So this is really important. And tonight I want to give, because we believe in the word of the Lord, I'm going to give you scripture to back everything that is being said. In Ecclesiastes 7 verse 8, it says this: the end of a matter is better than its beginning, and patience is better than pride. The end of a matter is better than the beginning. Why is the end of a matter better than the beginning? The end of the matter firstly speaks to the fact that you made it to the end. If you can see the end, that is an accomplishment in itself. Brothers and sisters, we thank God for allowing us to make it to the end of November. 11 months strong, the Lord has kept you. And despite even the negative things, the bad things, the sad experiences you have had, you've made it this far. That is a blessing. So when you get to the end, you know that God has sustained you, God has blessed you, God has kept you. God is indeed a keeper. And so we thank God. God, we thank you for keeping us and bringing us this far. So we enjoy the fact, we have an appreciation for the fact that we've made it to the end. The end gives us the opportunity to sit back and to look, to review, to methodically go through what has happened, and we can from that make notes and navigate a better way forward. So again, what is the first thing we're doing? We're going to do a review, and I will encourage everyone that is watching, please do not take this lightly. Grab a pen, get a piece of paper, get your book, a journal, get something, or even on your iPad, your smart device. Write these things down. Go back through your year. Look through January, February, March, April, May, June, July, August, September, October, and November. Go through each month, as much of it as you can remember, and make your 10 points. Do your columns. The 5 things that were good, your 5 successes, your 5 accomplishments, whatever was great for you, write those down, and then write down the 5 areas of failure or negative experience. You had a loss. You went through a season of grief. You had hurt or pain. There was an accident. You traumatized, whatever it may be. Write it down. You're going to learn something from it. You're going to see how it impacted you. For some, the reason you need to write these things down is because you do not realize fully how that experience impacted you and the weeks and months that followed. You may have been in a car crash, and then that happened in June. And ever since then, you've been reluctant to drive again. Write it down so that you can confront it. This is a good time to confront your fears. Confront the bad things that have happened to you, and by confronting it, you will gain power over it. If you do not face it, you will always be afraid. If you do not face it, it's going to continue to grow in size and tower over you. Take on strength and face the fear. Face the failure. Be honest with yourself. This is important. Before I go any further, this is one of the most important things that I will say to you tonight, is as you go through this exercise, you must be honest and transparent with yourself. Brothers and sisters, many times we lie to ourselves first before we lie to anyone. We will say, oh, I'm doing just fine. You will tell yourself, oh, I'm doing fine. I'm okay. I'm not bothered by it. But it's not the truth. If you search yourself, deep down, you are bothered. Deep down, you are hurting. Deep down, you have not dealt with the issue. That thing is still unresolved inside of you. So it is important to be honest and to be transparent with yourself. So the very first point, review the year. Go through the months, go through the weeks, pull out the good and the bad. Now, I've said a lot about writing down and the reason to mark and to take notation of the negative things, but it's good to take notations of the good. Mark the good things. Have something to look at and celebrate. Celebrate and appreciate yourself. Do not just loathe and beat yourself down because of failures or mistakes that you may have made along the way. Look at the good things. You may not have lost the 20 pounds you wanted to, but you did lose 5. That is a start. You started on a savings plan. You did not save the whole 1,000, but you were able to save 500 additional than you normally would. That is a good start. Celebrate the good points as well. Learn to celebrate yourself. Sometimes we can be incredibly hard on ourselves. This is a good time as well. When you make note of the good you've done or the good things you've accomplished, celebrate it, enjoy it, and be thankful and say, God, I thank you that you've empowered me and allowed me to make these accomplishments. The second part, an important part of our review is, now this one gets a little bit deeper. Review your relationships. Yes, take a deep look into your relationships. Our relationships greatly affect our lives and our productivity. Many times, based on the relationship and the persons that are connected to you, it will determine how productive you will be. There are some times that we are not advancing, we're not moving forward because we've connected ourselves to persons who are not pushing us. They're not going to encourage us to move forward or to achieve more. They're comfortable being right where they are, and so they have no desire to see you go any further. You need to review your relationships. Equally, there are those who they're always pushing you. They're always driving you. You may not have done some of the things you've done if it had not been for their encouragement and cheering you along. So we're going to take a review of our relationships. There are some categories that I want you to make. One, there's the category of the beneficial relationships. These relationships are your divine connections. They are the ones who they've come into your life to bring strength. They've come to bring encouragement. They are the ones that they call you and they speak positive. They put and plant good seeds into your life. You benefit from it. You feel the better for being connected to that individual. These are the relationships that you want to continue to grow, you want to nurture and hold on to. Then you have your dysfunctional relationships. Now, this is a deep category. The dysfunctional ones are these relationships, you're trying to hold on to it, but it's just not working. It's not working. No matter what you do, it's not working out. A dysfunctional relationship is you've got that friend, and every time you attempt to do something good or you accomplish something, no matter how good or great it is, they will find something negative to say about it. You got a new job, and yet still they're going to complain and say, oh, I heard somebody else work there and it didn't work out for them. They're always negative. They're always nitpicking. They can find the smallest good amidst a multitude, the smallest bad amidst a multitude of good. That is dysfunctional. That is not working. Or if you have a relationship where they're always calling on you only when they are in need, that is not good. Your purpose in life is not to be an enabler to someone else. That is not what God has placed you on the earth for. Every relationship should be a two-way street. I firmly believe this. You should be able to give and also receive. Yes. Now, at times, the giving may be more, the receiving may be less. It varies, but there should still be an exchange at some point. While teaching this class, I told those that had signed up for the seminar, I have friends, God has blessed me, I have some friends, they are millionaires. And even when we sit down to eat together, I'm going to pick up the tab every now and again. Why? Because I need them to know I appreciate you being my friend. I am not just connected to you because you can pay the bill, you can pick up the tab, or you can buy a gift. No, I am connected to you because of who you are. This is a good time. You've made it to the end of November. Before you even go into December, I'm not even talking about 2022 yet. Before you go into December, you need to unplug yourself from dysfunctional relationships. Unplug yourself. If it's not functioning right, it is going to take energy away from you. It's going to impede your focus and your advancement. That is not what you need. If it's out of order, you need to unplug it. There are some times when you can work at it and you can rework the relationship, get it functioning properly. But if the person is not willing to work along with you, you have got to unplug yourself. Now, this goes two ways because you may be the dysfunctional component in the relationship. Now, I know y'all weren't ready for that curve, right? You may be the dysfunctional component in the relationship. Prophet, how am I dysfunctional? Take a look at it. Are you the one that every time you sit down with your friends, you do the reach like you're going for your wallet, but you never actually get to it before someone else? Are you the dysfunctional component? Do you only call on your friends or loved ones when you need something from them? Your car broke down and you need help, you need a ride, you're short on some cash, you need financial injection. Are you the dysfunctional component? If you feel, be honest with yourself. If you feel, you know what, I have not been a good friend, then you need to work on that and fix that. Another thing that's very important when we talk about friendships is, as a friend, you should not count the good deeds that you do. Ouch. I know that hurt because I felt it myself. There are times we will feel compelled to start counting, especially if we feel or sense that we're not being treated fairly. We start counting. Well, I did this. I helped you with your rent. I helped you watch your dog. I helped you with your laundry. I did all of these things for you. I cash apped you. I carried you through the pandemic. When you needed some groceries, I shared with you. And we start counting because we're hurt. We're going through a certain level of pain. But if you are a true friend, you do not count what you have done. Whatever you do, do it as unto the Lord. Even our friendships should be a display of our love for God. We ought to do it, whatever deed you're going to do. Listen, if you're going to give somebody something, and I'm going to throw this out here because Christmas is coming, and a lot of folk, they're going to be buying gifts that they are not giving out of love. If you got to talk about it, hello, if you got to go and tell everybody, I bought this for John, I had to help John out, then don't do it because you're not doing it with the right heart. Do not be the dysfunctional component in the relationship. Do not do that. Whatever you do it in love. Whatever you do it with sincerity. If you're going to give a gift, I always say this, if you're going to give a gift, the moment you release it, you've got to resign yourself from it. It doesn't matter whether you spend $10 or $10,000. If you're going to give it, resign yourself from it. Let it go. Sometimes we give gifts and we release it from our hands, but not from our hearts. If you're going to give, let it go from both your hand and your heart. Do not be the dysfunctional component in your relationship. There's a concept I want to share with you, and it's called FR versus FR. Now, what does this mean? It's forgive and release or forgive and reconcile. There are some relationships where you have to forgive and let them go. You've been wrong, forgive them and let them go. Or you are the one who have done the wrong. You have to go and ask for forgiveness and let them go. I recently had a conversation with an interesting young man, and he was telling me about a debacle he and a friend had. And even after constantly reaching out to that friend, they would not return any calls, they would not reach back out to him, and they seem as if they wanted to stay angry. Listen, you've got some people in this world, they are intent on staying mad. Are you hearing me out there? They are intent on staying mad. No matter what you do, roses, chocolates, wine, don't drink any alcohol. No matter what it is you do, it's not going to change their minds. Sometimes it's not even about you anymore. It's just that they are a mad individual and they are going to hold on to that pain, and they're going to hold on to that burden. There are people in this world, they are hoarders of hurt. Yes, I said it and it's true. They hoard hurt. No matter what you say, it's not going to change their mind. Nevertheless, do your best to seek forgiveness, and after you've sought forgiveness, let them go. The flip side of FR is forgive and reconcile. You cannot have true reconciliation without forgiveness. Often you will see, even in marriages or relationships, you just had an argument and then all of a sudden they go and they're hanging out, they're partying, they're riding and shopping together, eating together. But did you actually discuss what happened? Did you sit and discuss with the person what caused you to not speak or not interact for several hours or several days or even weeks or months? You have to address these things. You cannot just pick up like nothing ever happened. It is very important, everyone that's listening to my viewing audience, it is very important that you sit and discuss, how did it happen? This is what I felt. This is what I felt happened. This is the way I took it. This is my perspective of it. And don't be the one to lead the conversation. You say everything and not hear what the other party has to say. You need to get in there and hear their heart. Hear whether you think it makes sense or not. It is their truth. Hear their truth. Let them speak. Let there be an exchange so that there can be true forgiveness. True forgiveness is not realized without true transparency. So you have to be transparent. You have to let the person know, you said something and it hurt. You did something and I didn't like it. I did not appreciate you doing that. That is very important. Be honest. Don't sweep it under the carpet. But even when you address it in an appropriate way. There is a kind way of addressing things. You don't have to have an attitude. You don't have to be fussing, but you can go to them and say to them, this is how I feel about the matter. We need to address it. And once you address it, then you can chart a course to reconciliation. So even again, make a list. Make a list of some of the relationships that you have had challenges with in your life, whether it's your husband, your wife, your spouse, your companion, if it's your children, your siblings, your friends, or even your fellow worshipers, whomever it may be. Make a list of them, and you need to do 2 categories and figure out, is this a forgive and release, or is this a forgive and reconcile? You have to know the difference. If you have questions, please write them in the comment section, and we will try to address them as best as possible. So again, what concerning relationships, FR versus FR, the forgive and release or forgive and reconcile. Know the difference. It is very important for you. So those are the two aspects of the review. Now I want to get to point two. This is a very important one again. Point two, as you do your exit interview, as you sit and have a conversation with yourself and you're making these notes so that you can chart a better course forward, is to declutter and organize. Declutter and organize. As we journey through life, we often accumulate a whole lot of stuff. This is a pivotal time to sort through your life physically, mentally, and emotionally. Properly assess what is relevant and what is not. Anything that is not relevant, we have some categories that we're going to put them in. This whole aspect of declutter, to declutter and organize, the Lord dealt with me. I was at my home one day and I opened up a cabinet in the kitchen. When I opened it up, I realized I had like about 30 coffee mugs. It was just filled. Both shelves were filled with coffee mugs. And I stood there and I said to myself, why do I have all of these coffee mugs? I don't even drink coffee. I'm a tea drinker. Yes. And I only drink my tea out of one specific mug every single time. So I have an excess of 30 plus mugs taking up space that I do not use and I do not need. How many of us are holding on to things we don't need and we don't use? There are three categories that we need to sort things through. We need a category of the things to be relinquished, regifted, or discarded. Again, that's relinquished, regifted, or discarded. Relinquish means let it go. There are some things, everybody, we've got that project that, I'm going to fix that. I'm going to work on that. I'm going to put that back together. I'm going to build it. I'm going to finish that puzzle. No, you're not. It's been sitting there for 5 years and you're not going to do anything about it. You're not that interested in it. Let it go. Some things just need to be let go of. Secondly, there are the things to be regifted. You have something, you were given something, it's nice, it's in good condition, it's in good quality. Please do not re-gift something that you yourself would not use. Think about that. Re-gift things if it still has good purpose and it is in good condition. Re-gift it. Give it to somebody else that can make a better use of it. Do not let that shoe or that bag, that clothing, that television, or that furniture just sit there and rot. Somebody else can benefit from it. Get it out of the way. And then discard the things. If it's not working and it cannot be fixed and it's not good enough to give to anyone, completely let it go. Throw it away. Some of us, we are attached to things that has no more purpose or value. We need to let it go. Hebrews 12:1 says, therefore, since we are surrounded by such a great cloud of witnesses, let us throw off everything that hinders us and the sin that so easily entangles, and let us run with perseverance the race marked out for us. Brothers and sisters, listen, to you that are watching, you are holding on to some things that it's just dead weight. You're holding on to something that it's weighing you down. You cannot advance. When it's time for you to move, when it's time for you to go forward, it's just sitting there and it is not beneficial to your life at all. If it's not benefiting you and it cannot benefit anyone connected to you, you need to let it go. It's time for us to move forward. Brothers and sisters, I am believing God for those of us that we have survived 2020 and 2021. If we make it to 2022 by the grace of the Almighty, I want to move forward with speed. There is a lot that I want to accomplish. There is a lot that I want to achieve. And I don't want anything unnecessary holding me down. Declutter. I want to give you a little exercise. When this broadcast is done, or if you're watching it as a replay, put it on pause right now. Go in your closet. Find you 5 items that you have not worn in at least a year and let it go. I can tell some of you right now, you can go through in your head and you're saying, I'm going to get back in that dress. I'm going to get back in those jeans. It ain't going to happen, though. It's not. Just let it go. Get over it. Turn it loose. It will bless your life. You have no idea the level of freedom you will experience by letting go of something you have been holding on to. Somebody, you may be holding on to an heirloom or something from a past relationship. It was painful. It was a bad breakup. He's already moved on. He's got another family. She's moved on. They got another family. You don't need to hold on to their shirt. You don't need to keep a memento. Let it go. Let it go. You holding on to that thing is an anchor to that memory. You need to release yourself from it so that you can advance and achieve what is next for your life. Listen, if you're always looking over your shoulder behind you, then how can you look at what is ahead? Somebody right now is saying they've got 20 items to get rid of. Listen, get rid of all 20 of them. And I guarantee you, by the time you dump that 20, you're going to find another 20 more. Make your room light. Make your environment fresh. Let air blow through. Release and let it go. Guess what? Sometimes the reason we have not received the things we've been praying to God for is because we don't have the capacity to receive it. What are you talking about? You don't have the capacity because you are filled up holding on to broken, dysfunctional, outdated, antiquated, obsolete things. Yes, God will provide for you the thing that you've been praying for if you can let go of the thing that you have been holding on to. God hasn't said your husband yet because you're still holding on to the thought of Tom. Tom is gone. That season is closed. It is over. Let go the thought. Let go the idea. Let go of the emotions. Free yourself. God will fill a space that has the capacity to receive what he desires to give. This is important. Now, this is the time. You've made it this far. You've made it to the end of November. While December is kicking off tomorrow, December 1. Let December 1st be your day one of your exit interview. Let December 1st be the first day for your new journey to the new you and the new that God has for your life. Brothers and sisters, I know that this is true. Declutter, get it out, sort through your emotions, sort through your mind. Get rid of thoughts that you don't need. And while I'm on that token, do not take on more thoughts that are not beneficial to you. If somebody's calling you with gossip, they want to talk about the neighbor, they want to talk about the co-workers, do not allow them to fill up the capacity of your mind with useless information. Just let it be gone. Leave that room and that space available so that you can develop ideas and strategies of how to become better, how to grow greater, how to achieve more. After you would have decluttered, now it's time to get organized. Get organized. Put things in its right place. I love having organization. For me, I can get up in my room in the middle of the dark and I can find where my keys are. I can find where my shades are. I can find my blue pair of shoes in the pitch black darkness of the room. Why? Because I organized it that way. And how you maintain organization is whatever you removed it from its place, put it right back as soon as possible. As we are here in this winter season, I wear a particular winter jacket. When I'm done, even if I'm tired, I hang it back up and put it back in its place so I can easily find it. Bring organization to your life. Where there is organization, you will maximize your time. If you are disorganized, you will lose out. You will spend a lot of your time trying to find where is it. That's the reason you're always late, because you're disorganized and you've got to spend 15 minutes trying to find your keys, find your shoes, find that bag, find your glasses because you don't know where you put it. Practice putting things in its place and keeping it there. Build a particular routine that you can stick to. And when you do that, you will maximize your time. That extra 10 minutes or 15 minutes you spend scavenging around looking for something, you can use that to write your thoughts. You can use that to work on getting the next job or studying to get that degree. You can use that to advance yourself. We spend so much time wasted away in this organization, just wandering around trying to get stuff together. Again, if you've got any questions, I'm here to help you as best as I can. So declutter and organize. Go in your closet. That's your homework. Go in your closet. Go in your garage. Go in that storage room. Get rid of it. If you don't need it, let it go. Let it be a blessing to somebody else or completely discard it if it is not working. Lay aside the weight. You want nothing hindering you. You're believing God for a new home. Declutter your house so that when it's time to move, one U-Haul truck and you're out of there. You don't have to be cleaning up a whole lot of stuff after yourself. You can be done and gone really, really quick. So that is very important. You have to properly organize yourself so that you can maintain optimum use and you will have good flow in your life. So the question is being asked, how do you start if you don't know where to start? Listen, start with the thing that's closest to your hand. Reach around you and start what is closest to your hand. Many times we look at decluttering and getting organized as a tedious process. It can be, but there are so many ways you can get started. Listen, I wanted to organize my closet in a particular way. You know what I did? I went on the internet. Everything's on the internet. I went on YouTube. I found a group that does home organization. I couldn't afford to bring them to my house, but I just followed what they did. Get started in small portions. Go to a small area and organize that. So before you take on a major task or a major room, go on a desk and just organize one desk. Organize one drawer set. Organize your kitchen area. Start in portions. Pick one area and give yourself a timeline. Week 1, again, December 1st is when? Tomorrow. That is our get it right time period. Take a week. This week is going to be the living area. The next week is going to be the kitchen. The third week is going to be the garage. And then take a week to organize yourself. Declutter your mind. Declutter your emotions. Declutter your feelings. Sit down and get stuff out. There are some things you just need to get out of you. There's some stuff you've experienced and you never processed it. Take the time to get it out. Clean yourself and purge yourself. You might just need to sit down in a quiet room, play some soft music. Don't watch anything that is going to take your focus, but just get out some stuff that is on the inside of you. Let it go and release it. So where to start? Start somewhere. Do not spend all of your time looking around trying to figure out, should I start over here or start over there? Find one small space and start working on that. And what you do is you build your fuel, you build your momentum off of that accomplishment. Accomplish one thing and it will give you the drive to go after another and another and another. And you know what that then develops? That develops something called summit fever. What is summit fever? It is a phrase that was coined by mountain climbers. The higher they climb, when they start to feel fatigue, they kept on climbing because they wanted to get to the top. And they realized with each step, they got closer to their goal. Start somewhere and you will get there. The third point. This point is one word, 4 letters, but it is critical. The third point of the exit interview is after you would have reviewed the year reviewed your relationships, after you've decluttered and brought organization to what you currently have, you have to put in proper order what you have in hand now. The next step is to plan. Listen, this was said over and repeatedly, and I'm going to say it again. If you fail to plan, you have automatically planned to fail. Set your goals and objectives. It is wise to have a quarterly and annual plan. The smaller proportions help you so that you do not become overwhelmed with larger tasks. Also, you're able to better mark your progression. So, this is the thing that I do. I will sit down and make a plan. This is what I want to accomplish in 1 year. I'll give you an example. For those that want to save, you are saying in 2022, I want to save $1,200. Because if you're one who you're not good at saving, that may seem like an insurmountable sum for you to put aside. But break it into smaller chunks. Take it from $1,200 and say every 3 months I want to save $300. I'm going to save $100 each month. Then you break that down into the weeks. Each week I'm going to save $25. Make it bite-sized. And here's a way how you can trick yourself. If you like going out, if you like Starbucks or any of the other eateries, when you're pulling up to the driveway, think to yourself, you know what? I'm going to make my coffee at home today, and I'm going to save this $7. And this is going to go towards my weekly plan. And by doing so, you will quickly achieve your goal. There is a method to it. Sometimes you got to play a trick on yourself. And this is a good one to do. Break it into smaller portions. If you're thinking, you know what, we were going to go out to eat. Going out to eat, lunching with friends this week is going to be $50. No, friends, listen, I've got a goal to achieve and I need your help with it. So we're going to do potluck. Make sure your friends can cook though. Hallelujah. So do something in-house. Cook. Do something unique, or maybe do a deli sandwiches or something. But make sure, do what it takes so that you can achieve your goal. Be smart about it. SMART is an acronym, S-M-A-R-T. S is for specific, M is for measurable, A is assignable, R is for realistic, and T is time related. So being smart means one, be specific. Don't just say, I want to save money. That doesn't mean anything. Be specific. Put a number to it. I want to save a specific amount of money. I want to lose a specific amount of weight. I want to get a specific type of car. I want to study. Many people ask them, well, what do you want to do? I'm going back to school. No, I am going back to study a specific subject. I'm going to get a specific degree. Be specific in what it is you intend to do. Then measurable. I've already spoken about this. Measure out the proportions so that you can properly gauge your progress. Measure it out. Assignable. There are certain things that you will need to assign to others to help you with. There is something very important in this exercise that I want everybody to do. Find a friend. Go back to your list that you made from your relationships and find a good friend and make them your accountability partner. Someone reached out to me a few days ago and they said, Prophet, I am getting ready to start a plan for the next month and a half. I need you to be my accountability partner. I need you to check on me every day and make sure that I'm sticking to the plan, that I'm following through with it. These are the things I need to achieve each day. Can you check on me to make sure that I am thoroughly following through with what it is I have set out to do? Sometimes it's hard to trust ourselves. Let's be real about it. Sometimes it is a challenge to stick to what it is you're doing. Because why? You are your own boss. So you feel that, you know what? I can smudge the line of the rules for myself. Because after all, it is for me. It is important. Have someone that can keep you accountable. Assign to them or even spread it out. If you say it's too much for one individual, spread it out. Have one friend, you know what? I need you to check on me concerning this area. I need you to check on me concerning my finances. I need you to check on me concerning my eating habits. I need you to check on me to make sure that I am not calling Tom again. Yes, I'm talking about Tom. You have to get somebody to upgird you, strengthen you, and walk with you through your journey. Let somebody know. And again, that requires honesty and transparency. You have to have someone in your life that you can be honest with and say, listen, friend, I am struggling with this area. I am struggling with donuts. Every time I pass Dunkin' Donuts, I get weak in the knees. I'm struggling with it. Every time I'm on my way to work, I am struggling. It's a fight. Call me. Call me between 8:30 and 8:45 because that's usually the time I've got to pass. Make sure I'm not picking up something I don't need to pick up. I know I'm making you laugh and it's a bit comical, but it's all very, very true. So have someone assigned to help you achieve the goals you've set out to do. The fourth one, now this one is one that we find very hard at times. Be realistic. Be real. Be honest with yourself. You cannot say, I set out to save $50,000 next year and you don't make $50,000. You have to properly assess what you have. Take into full account what your bills are, what your expenses are, all of your sources of income, and from that create a budget and properly determine what are you actually able to save. Some of us may be in a position where we cannot save more than $10 a week. But if that is the case, save that. Start somewhere. Be realistic with yourself. Tell yourself the truth. I cannot do anything more than this right now. It does not matter what the area may be. I cannot do more than this. Do the best that you can and be honest with yourself. And again, everything is time related. You have to put a time frame on it. If you do not put a time frame on it, you are setting up yourself to fail. You're setting up yourself to not achieve what you've set out to do. Everything in life requires a timeline. Every single thing. I'm often reminded in the Bible that God had spoken to Abraham, and he said to Abraham, he said, Abraham, your descendants are going to be held in captivity for 400 years. He gave him a specific time. This was long before the children of Israel even entered Egypt or the idea came about. But when it did, he let him know there is a specified time frame for their captivity. You have to put a time on whatever it is you're doing, you're working on, or you seek to achieve. The verse of scripture that I want to use for this is found in Luke chapter 14, 28, verses 28 to 31. And this is from the NIV. It says, suppose one of you wants to build a tower. Won't you first sit down and estimate the cost to see if you have enough money to complete it? For if you lay the foundation and are not able to finish it, everyone who sees it will ridicule you, saying, this person began to build and wasn't able to finish it. Many of us are experiencing incompletion in one area or the other. And why is it? Because when we started out, we did not properly, adequately count the cost of what it would take to do. You were saying you're going to go back to school, but did you factor in the time, not just for the classes, but also for the homework and for preparation and for rest and for your responsibilities to your family and other things? Did you properly factor in what it costs for you to take on this endeavor? People are getting married, but have you factored in the cost of what it's going to take for you to enter into holy matrimony with someone else? Are you mentally prepared to share of yourself and your resources with someone else? You can barely put up with you. How are you going to put up with someone else. You have to sit and count the cost. If you're easily frustrated, if you're easily annoyed, all of these are things you want to think about. You want to factor all of this in. The verses read on and says, or suppose a king is about to go to war against another king. Won't he first sit down and consider whether he is able with 10,000 men to oppose the one coming against him with 20,000? You have to properly add up. I am going to fight. I've only got an army of 10,000, but who I'm fighting against has 20,000. Am I prepared for this level of battle? So you have to make a plan. I say in the end of this point, as I said in the beginning, if you fail to plan, automatically you've planned your own failure. The last point, very important point about the exit interview is after you would have gone through the process of doing the reviews, you've decluttered and reorganized, and you have made plans, then this is the very, very important part. You've got to execute it. Sometimes we are so good at planning. You've got journals, you've got ideas, you've got stuff written down everywhere. You've got a plan for a new home, you've got a plan for your marriage, you've got a plan for a job, you've got a business plan, you've got 10 business plans. You have all of these plans laid out, but have you executed anything? Plans without execution are futile. You must be determined to do everything that you've set out to do. Aim to complete each task or goal before moving on to the next. And that's something that a lot of us do. We become inundated trying to do too many things at the same time. Work on one thing. As I mentioned before concerning decluttering, work on one area. Don't try to do the whole house at the same time. You're going to burn yourself out or drive yourself crazy. No, work on one area. Find one closet, organize that coat closet, and then after you've completed that task, move on to the next. James 1:22 says, do not merely listen to the word and so deceive yourselves. Do what it says. When you listen to the word and you do not execute your own plan, right now the word is your plans, and you don't execute it, you have just set up yourself in a web of deception. Brothers, sisters, our viewing audience, do not deceive yourself. Be honest and transparent with you. If you've made a plan, execute it. Go hard after it. If I can get you to do a task for me, it would be this. I want every one of you who you've tuned into this, who've been blessed by it, has spoken something of value to you. You can concur with any of the 4 points that have been said. I want you to make something I call a declaration of determination. Make a declaration of determination. This is a part of your plan. This is a part of your list. Write down, I declare that I am determined to get this done. I am determined that I am going to go back to school. I am determined that I am going to work on my relationships. I'm going to reach out to that person. I'm going to resolve that issue. Make a declaration of determination. This is what you're going to live by. I am determined to deal with this matter. I'm going to face it. I'm going to work through it. I am going to accomplish this. Write it down and put it somewhere where you can see it. Put it somewhere where it's always before you, where you cannot easily forget it. Make it a reminder in the tasks section of your smartphone so that it keeps on popping up. Your declaration of determination. I am determined to get through this. Listen, there are going to be times when you may falter. There will be occasions when you may have missteps. But when you make your declaration, your determination means that regardless of the times you fall, you fail, you sidestep, you get back up. My friends, to all of you who listened, you viewed in with us tonight, we're so glad that you've joined us. I'm happy that I've been here filling in for Apostle Connie and was able to share with you the exit interview for 2021. I personally would like to hear from you. If you have been encouraged, if you have received any insight from this, please write in. Let us know that this has touched you in some way. I see one of my dear friends, Alice Colley. Pastor Alice Colley is watching. Listen, all of you that have been participating, watching, viewing, continue to write us. Let's hear from you. Make out your exit interview. Sit with yourself. Talk to yourself. Go through the deep areas, the recesses of your heart and your mind. Figure out what happened in 2021. What cycles do I not want to repeat? If you do not do this, guess what's going to happen? 2022 is going to merely be a sequel of 2021, 2020, and all of the years before. You don't want to repeat cycles, especially the negative ones. You want to grow from success to success. You want to advance. You want to experience the greater. You want to have a wonderful and fulfilling year next year. 2021 has been challenging. It really has. I have sat down and I've made notes of my highs and my lows. There are some things that I've applauded myself on. I said, Remington, you did really good on that. And there are also some things I said, Remington, that was not good at all, and you do not want to repeat that. It takes being honest. You will never be an honest person to anyone until you can first be honest and true to you. My friends, thank you for joining us and tuning in. This has been our special episode of the Let's Talk concerning the exit interviews. Interview yourself. You will find out some amazing things. You will figure out, why have I come to the end of this year this way, and how I am going to navigate my way forward. So review the year, review your relationships, declutter, get organized, make a plan, be realistic about it. Remember, go back and review the SMART acronym. Make your plans and then execute them. Go through them, follow them out. If you would like to be a blessing, the information will be on the screen, how you can send a love gift, a tangible gift, seed, or blessing to the ministry. We would love to hear from you. I hope you have a wonderful night, and we will see you next week, Tuesday, right here on Let's Talk.